Bruce's Great Call, May 5, 2025. The deal that Trump made with Zelensky of Ukraine to start looking at mining precious metals, and I think also oil and gasoline, in Ukraine. And that we would have people there, our people there, and I think as a result of that, Russia also added a shutdown of at least 3 days, and I hope it will be extended indefinitely. But that other deal for us to come in as the United States and have a presence in Ukraine for mining precious metals and gemstones, and that sort of thing, in Ukraine, was also worked out yesterday. Those two things put us in a position where it all started for us. The other thing that needed to happen, as a result of the Iran issue and also with Ukraine, was that those two countries were not fully integrated into the quantum financial system. So that needed to happen in order for them to be able to participate in whatever is going to happen from the perspective of our new banking system. And I think they should be fully integrated by tomorrow night, which is, what is it? Tuesday night, tomorrow night. Well, that's in the works. Let's see what else there is now. Now, there have been disturbances suggesting that the exchanges have already begun in the Far East. We're trying to get confirmation of that through our contacts who live there, and we believe that's partially true, but we can't confirm it yet. Now, watch me after the big call goes out tonight, and about a half hour later I can confirm it. But as of now, it's not confirmed, but it looks like it may have begun. And remember back in the day, and I mean back in the day we talked about this coming from west to west. Well, what do you think? We're the West. The West would obviously be the Far East. So they could have started, and it's working for us. The latest information tells us that everything was ready to start this global tour and the RV today at 2 p.m., that it all started at 2 p.m. So now, what does that mean for us? I think that means that we're looking to get notifications for Tierra 4B Internet Group, and I would say that would probably apply to Tierra 4A, which is Admiral Group, that those notifications would be sent out over the weekend. And then the most recent update that I've heard since then was that not only would the notifications be sent out, but trading would start on Tuesday morning. So this could be a very exciting weekend for us, to get notifications and set up our notes. Now, personally, I don't know if we'll be able to set up our notes before Tuesday. So I would imagine that they would notify us maybe on Saturday and set up our notes on Tuesday to start trading on Tuesday. I think that's the most likely scenario, because you have to understand that they have to have staff at the redemption centers when we call to set up our notes, because even though we're using an automated call center initially to set up our notes, the call connects to one of two ways. It connects to the redemption center based on the zip code that we enter, or they actually give you a different phone number to call and go directly to that redemption center. Now, I think in most cases the system is designed to connect your call to that redemption center based on the zip code that you enter, telling them, tell me what zip code. The zip code that's closest to you, or where you live, or where you work, or where you want to make your exchange. Those three options. You enter a 5-digit zip code, and they know that's the redemption center that's closest to the one that you want to exchange. So that should answer that question for us. Remember, when you have time to take notes, from what I understand, we're going to have a 40-minute window. We're trying to do our transactions in that 40-minute period, that notation period. They don't wait for us to go through. Obviously, you could finish earlier. If you have 2 dinar notes or 3 dong notes or something like that, they don't have as much time to calculate and verify your currency, like 20 seconds. So you're moving through the system faster. As I mentioned on Tuesday, they already have our names printed on your account letter. And you ask, how do they know? Well, they're assuming that based on the fact that your zip code, since they know roughly where you live, you're going to use XYZ exchange location redemption center, and they'll already have your Quentos card written down for you to input your biometric print, fingerprint, whatever it is, and then input your new name and passport for that Quentos card, input your 5-digit code, and then input your email and your passport email so that you can. That's what you need to get online, if you want, with your account. Remember, your Quentos account is an account in the United States that allows you to keep your money safe, even though it doesn't earn interest. But you can transfer that money to your bank account, or bank accounts, plural, with that card, and that's the only reason you have it. And it's designed so that you can do that privately. The bank doesn't know how much you have in your account. Your neighbors don't know. Nobody knows, unless you let them see your transaction, which I recommend you don't do. Keep it private. Right. So we know roughly when we have to start. We also know when we have to finish, because here we are, May 1st, all exchanges must be completed through the redemption centers by the end of May, and the redemption centers will close on or before the last day of May, which is May 31st, Saturday, May 31st. So that tells you that this is a finite exchange period. The numbers have been padded, but they're enough on the screens, on the redemption center screens, to actually tell us what currencies are there and what they are. Now, they shouldn't give us the numbers. The banks shouldn't give us the numbers on the bank screens. I don't really care about the numbers on the bank screens. I would care more about the numbers on the redemption center screens. And I know roughly what they are, and they're going to be very, very good. The number is the least you need to worry about. It's the number, the absolute number. If you're an accountant and you don't have any projects, I'm wrong. Because you should have one. You should have a project or several projects that you can present to the redemption center in 3 to 5 minutes. It used to be 5 to 8 minutes. Maybe we don't have 8 minutes, but you can give them the gist and leave a copy of what you want to do so they can go in and scan it and have the project information ready. And so, they'll try to collaborate if other people have identical or very similar projects. You can try to ask them to collaborate on those. It all depends. We'll have to see how it goes. I'd like you to collaborate with me on Rebuild America and Rebuild International. And that's when I asked, how many years? 5 or 6 years. I asked, maybe more than that. How many of the 50,000 viewers wanted to volunteer and be a part of Rebuild America in 50 states? Imagine 100 cities, towns, or communities in each of the 50 states, maybe less in Hawaii, or maybe less in Alaska, but an average of 100 cities, towns, or communities that we can help rebuild. We can build housing, we can take existing housing and hopefully rebuild it, rehabilitate it, whatever it is. We might have to build new housing. We want to do community gardens, especially in urban centers and obviously in rural communities as well. There are so many little things that we can do to add value to a city, town, or community. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm excited to get started. We're going to do regenerative agriculture. That's going to be great. There are so many different projects. We want to create healing centers. Bob is, of course, instrumental in that. Sue will have her input as well. And I think we're going to work really well. And I hope, guys, that we'll get together for some regional meetings, see where the focus is, where people are, where they want to do some things. But in the beginning, in the first month or two, we want everyone to do what they need to do to get into this, so maybe they're thinking about a movie, maybe they're renovating their own house, maybe they're selling their house and buying something new, I don't know. But whatever it is, maybe they need a new journey, maybe you need a void. Hey, I think we all create a void. And I plan to create one, at least initially. But we'll also get together with my advisory group and do some planning on everything we're trying to do. It's just on Bruce's mind right now. But I'm sure Bob has input, and my other advisory group, the people, will have input. So I'm excited about that. Folks, we've been waiting for this for a while, and I know our patience has been tested, but I've taken it as a blessing. I know God chose me for this, to do this, and I think it's really the best use of the last 14 years of my time. And I'm glad I was able to do this and offer it to you. Now, let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, it was our Secretary of the Treasury, Scott. I call him Descent. He's probably pronounced Descent, but I like Descent better, I don't know why. Descent and Dr. Ben Carson are involved in launching the trigger to make this happen. Now, maybe it's on autopilot, It may involve algorithms, but we understand that it started at 2 p.m. this Sunday, May 1st. And I know the funds are still being released. I'm saving the final emails about when you'll be able to access your funds, and I'm hoping that's when you get access on Tuesday or Tuesday. I think we'll get notifications between Tuesday and Tuesday, even though it's a weekend event. It could be tomorrow. We might get something tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, which is May 2nd, we heard from our medbed partner, who is responsible for all the medbeds nationally and also does internationally, that the medbeds would be ready to go tomorrow, May 2nd. Now, we're not ready for them yet, because we haven't done the exchange yet, but they'll be ready when we're ready. That's the point. They'll be ready for us to get in soon, after the most serious need that you have. And if you're a Zimbabwean, that counts for you. And so you should be able to get in soon, after your exchange. Right? I'm told I can get in about 3 days after my exchange. So, I hope everything goes well and I get my website back and everything else I need to do. So, while I'm thinking about it, this is the only chance you may have to finally get the MedBed 100 with all the useful information in a 2-night course lasting about an hour and a half. Thank you.